So I guess I'll go first. Nick, I told you at the very beginning, but I have not played 5 new games this year. I've played 5 games, but not new really released stuff. But what I have played, and I'll start, I guess, with number 3.
Starting with number 3.
I'm starting with number 3.
We're off to a weird start.
I'll let you, Nick. I'll let you start it off first. Yeah, you start it off. That makes more sense.
Should I start it at the bottom of the list, or do you want me to start in the middle as well?
Just start at the bottom, and then do your 5th and 4th game, and then we'll jump into our
You're a weirdo.
Yeah.
Number 3. I'm sure this one's on your list, but my number 5 is Kirby and the Forgotten Land. So this is just one of those joyous Nintendo games that comes out once a year.
Yeah.
There's always one game a year where it's an absolute joy to play.
Yeah.
It's a fun game. It's not too difficult, but it does get, decently difficult in the end of the game.
Yeah, it can get difficult. That last boss is pretty tough. And then if you choose to do like the arena stuff, it's pretty hard too.
Yeah. So it kind of has that cool end game. It's got really unique levels like the flashlight or the light bulb level is just, or those levels are just so cool. And
Yeah.
there's just a lot of good ideas. This game wasn't what we thought it was going to be when it was initially shown off.
No, we thought it was gonna be like an open world more thing, but yeah, definitely not.
Odyssey.
Yeah.
But I think it was still good for what it was. I think it had something it set out to do, and it did it. Yeah. And it's one of my, I haven't played many Kirby games, but it's one of my favorite Kirby games I've played.
Yeah.
Really excellent.
Yeah, same here. This is the first Kirby game I've ever completed all the way through. I really haven't played a ton of Kirby before this, and it just never really interested me that much. But this just definitely grabbed a hold of me. It looks really pretty for being on the Switch. But yeah, I mean, it runs relatively well. Yeah, it's just a fun, like you said, just a fun, one-off experience for Kirby. It's not overly difficult. It's just a lot of really cool ideas in it. It never really got stale for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, it doesn't have like a ton of like replayability once you've done everything. I mean, you can go back and capture like the Waddle Dees or whatever, but yeah, it was just a really fun, 10 to 15 hour platforming game. A lot of fun.
It didn't waste your time.
Yeah.
And that's so important.
Yeah. Crucial part of this year is just not wasting my time.
Yeah. What about you? What's your, I guess you'd start at number 3 since.
Yeah. Number 3 was Kirby for me.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you want to talk about your number 4.
Well, before we get into those, so I know you haven't played 5 new games this year, but what would be like, if the games that you have, if all the games you have played came out this year, what would be your number 4 and 5?
Oh gosh, I wasn't prepared, Nick.
Sorry. I can help jog your memory here a little bit. Forgotten City. I don't know if you played that this year. It might have been last year.
That may have been last year. No, it might have been early this year actually. Because I think I talked about if I had played it last year, it would have been on my top 10. So if I did play that, again, I can't remember if I did, but I think I played it in January, because it was before Elden Ring came out. Yeah, that game is absolutely fantastic. Because you hadn't played it prior to me talking about it, but I hyped it up so much you played it too.
I finished it on January 12th. I have my list up.
Okay, so then
that was very shortly after you played it.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I must have probably beaten it within that first week of January. So yeah, the Forgotten City, it's what a Skyrim mod, I think, turned into like a time loop style game. Incredible experience. It's truly an awesome game, and I think it's on Game Pass and still.
Yeah, I think it's still on there.
Okay. Of course, I picked up Monster Hunter. I have liked that so far. Spiritfarer has been, I haven't played it since I've been in Florida, but that's an awesome experience so far. I really enjoyed that game. Trying to think what else.
Did you play Guardians this year?
No, I played that last year.
Okay.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. I think
Tunic.
Tunic. Yeah,
That was this year.
that was this year. Did that come out this year?
Yeah, that was this year.
Oh, okay. Then I'd probably put Tunic up there. I did like that game. Again, I put it on the easy difficulty just because I was just coming off of Elden Ring and just I did not want something difficult. I wanted to like that game more than I did end up liking it, but I think it was still a solid game. But yeah, I forgot about Tunic. Yeah, I would say Tunic's probably my number 4. That was a solid game.
Pretty good.
Yeah, that was a solid game. So yeah, what's I think that's pretty much everything I've played. I may have played something else that I'm kind of missing, but I can't quite think of it. Let me go to my Xbox profile and see if it does anything, if it shows anything.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna give you my number 4.
Okay.
Pokemon Legends, Arceus.
Yeah.
Number 4. This game came out of nowhere, where I was slightly looking forward to it, not really too much, and then the leaks that came out before the game actually hyped the game up.
Yeah.
Which is unprecedented for a Pokemon game. Normally the leaks kind of lead in the other direction. So I was really excited for this game. Came out. It was kind of like living the childhood dream of walking around and just catching Pokemon and just doing your thing.
Yeah.
I think some of the environments, actually, I think most of the environments were pretty stale, and the gameplay loop got a little bit old towards the end. But
yeah,
I think it was a very, very good first outing for this spin-off series, and I really hope that they make more of these, because it was the most fun I've had with a Pokemon game in a long time.
Yeah, same here. It's that would be my number 2 here. But yeah, it's very it's a very refreshing take on a very stale franchise. So I'm glad they did this. Hopefully Scarlet and Violet are. I know it's kind of going back to more traditional stuff. Hopefully it can kind of incorporate, it sounds like it is, incorporate that freshness that Arceus gave us. But so yeah, I'm revitalized, I would say, for Pokemon myself. I'm looking forward to the next series.
Yeah, I mean, is there anything what would you want them to? We've probably talked about this before, but what would you want them to improve on in whatever the next Pokemon Legends game is?
Definitely the graphics department. It was a little rough in some areas.
Looks ugly.
Yeah, it looked pretty bad in some spots.
Area looked pretty bad.
Yeah. So maybe that. Maybe have some more involved side quests that actually mean something, that have story behind other than just go catch this Pokemon or whatever. Maybe even have a story better. I mean, I don't know that Perubo in the story is kind of but Pokemon's kind of I don't know. The story has never been super. Yeah, kind of throw. Yeah. Yeah. I think just visually, I would like it to look better. But what's
more seamless open world? I think just getting around in general was a little bit janky.
Yeah, it was,
and they could definitely improve on that. But a lot of other things about that game were extremely streamlined compared to other Pokemon games, and I think that was really cool. So definitely a great game for those who have not played it yet.
Yeah, it's a great game.
Since you've only got your number 1 left, and I think I know what it is.
Oh, I will say Guardians. I did play that this year. So that was I played that in early. Actually, towards the end of January, I completed it. I'm looking at my achievements now. And then the Gunk, technically, I played this year. I think I finished it in early January. So, but I think that released at the end of December of last year. So not technically a 2022 game, but that was a fun game. It felt like an old school 360 game in a good way. So yeah, what's your the rest of yours before we get to our number one.
Our number one.
Yeah.
You're assuming here. So you're the one that's assuming. My number 3 is Triangle Strategy.
Okay.
This is a game that wasn't really on my radar until I just was in Target. I was in Target and just decided to pick it up and give it a shot because
It's a little classic Target pickup.
Yeah, I read some good reviews. It kind of, once I started looking into it more, it resonated with me more and more. And this is one of those games where like the story is really incredible. I really got just engulfed in the story, and that doesn't happen with me in a lot of games because I'm more of like a gameplay first kind of guy, unless I'm playing a game like The Last of Us or like a Sony game or like a game like Halo. But yeah, this story really sucked me in, and the gameplay was phenomenal. And I wish I had time to go back and play through like the other choices in the game. I don't know when I will do that, but this was a really, really great game, really great strategy game, and I'm pumped for what this developer does next. I know it's Square, but whatever HD 2D game they do next, I know they're doing. Are they doing Live Alive?
Live Alive, yeah. That's they're publishing that one. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Are you gonna pick that up, or kind of a wait and see thing? They've got that demo on the eShop.
Did you play that demo?
I downloaded it and started it, but I have not actually got into it yet.
Okay, I haven't downloaded it. I just haven't played it yet.
Okay.
All right, my number 2. You're not going to see this one coming.
Okay.
My number 2, Neon White.
Neon White, nice. You like that game a lot.
Holy crap! This is a must play for anyone who has a Switch or a PC. I think that's all it's out on. But if you have one of those 2 platforms, you have to play this game because it is absolutely phenomenal. Just skip past the story. Just get from level to level because these levels are so fun. They're so like breakneck speed. It feels absolutely incredible to play. Speed running these levels just unparalleled. Just great classic fun. I had such a good time with this game.
Yeah, I've heard so much. Yeah, so many good things about it. From a bunch of podcasts and sites and stuff. So yeah, I figured it would be on your list.
And before we get to number 1, I just want to give a quick shout out to Ollie Ollie World. Also another phenomenal skateboarding 2D side-scrolling game. So go check that out. I think it's only like, actually I think it's like $30, but
yeah,
go check it out. It's super fun. All right. Should we give the people what they want?
Yeah. Number 1, man. Number 1 so far. Not so far. It's Elden Ring, baby. It's what it is.
I mean,
come on.
do you know us? we had 4 podcast episodes dedicated solely to Elden Ring.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's one of those games that I feel just, I'm not gonna say one in a generation type of game, but it's just one of those games that comes out every few years that
once in a lifetime.
Yeah, that it just entirely engrosses like every aspect of your life. Of course, thanks to TikTok, I mean, just watching like just nonstop Elden Ring videos, and of course we were making them too, and it was so much fun just making really cool videos. Doing the fit check on, your style and stuff. Like, man, it was just one of those times where, everyone's caught up in the zeitgeist. You got like Pokemon Go back in 2016. You have not Horizon,
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild. And then Animal Crossing: New Horizons when that came out. Like, it's very rare when a video game kind of jumps across so much social media. Even like that middle of the night song, like I love that song, and like there's even like a really badass cover of it too. I mean, a lot of people have made, but it took over like so many social medias and so much stuff in that aspect, and it doesn't happen a lot with games, and Elden Ring is deservingly so. It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, this is like one of those games where I would be waking up at 6 a.m. to play it before work.
Yeah.
And then I would just think about it at work, or like edit TikTok videos at work. Or
Yeah, I couldn't sleep at night. I legitimately could not sleep at night for like 2 weeks because I was just thinking about, what am I going to do next? Like, okay, I left off with like 3 paths, which is why I love these type of games because, once you get to a certain area, it's like, okay, there's like 3 branching paths. I can go this way or I can, whatever. Yeah. But in this game, there was just, with the open worldness and being able to just quickly get to the grace points at any point in time was so awesome. And being able to just kind of fly through that world and say, well, I'm gonna try to fight this boss real quick, and then if I die a few times, let me move on to the other side of the world and do something over there and come back, a few hours later, or just run off in one direction and find a random like dungeon or whatever.
So seamless.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Obviously, I think there's probably gonna be an Elden Ring too. I think it sold so well that how would there not be? But I'm really interested to see because From is probably one of my favorite developers at this point. I don't really have favorite developer anymore. 10 years ago, I might say like Bethesda or like BioWare. But, I think especially like BioWare with Anthem and how rotten that game was. I don't really have like a favorite developer anymore. But I think From has just been so consistent with everything that they've released.
They haven't put out a bad game in the past 10, 15 years.
Yeah, so I will play whatever they do next. I will be interested to see if they do another Bloodborne or something like that, and it's not open world, like how that will translate into their new game. But again, I'll play anything they put out.
I don't think they need to make another open world game.
No, I don't think so either.
At least not for the next 5 to 8 years. I think they could do another Bloodborne. I think they could do it like a smaller scale game. Like maybe they'll go off in another direction like they did with Sekiro.
Yeah.
And it's still like in the same vein, but different themology, different setting, different fighting style. Like I think they could do something like that and it'll be great as well. I mean, they could even bring back Armored Core.
Yeah, that's a kind of a rumor that they are working on a new one.
But maybe they'll do some Elden Ring DLC.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for them to put some sort of like updater out or something like that. And again, I know there's a lot of like complete package games, but in a world of always online games and which this game is an online game. With these live service games, it's refreshing to get a game that is literally hundreds of hours worth of content,
out the box,
out the door, on the disc, pressed, ready to go. So, again, I know there's other games that are like that, but man, what a perfect timing for that game to come out when there wasn't a lot else around it. So, yeah, just.
I mean, there was a lot around it though.
Well, I mean, there's Pokemon Horizon, yeah.
Dying Light 2.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. I need to play that game.
Yeah, I want to play it.
I totally forgot about Dying Light 2. But
it just overtook everything else. I mean,
yeah. And it was so many people's first From game, which is awesome. Get people in that franchise and just see how truly fantastic it is. It's not this necessarily the hardest game in the world, type of franchise that people kind of say it is. You're still going to get the trolls that say you're not playing it right if you're using magic and stuff like that. But I felt like most people were generally positive about how people just played and what they posted on social media and stuff like that. That everyone was just helping each other out, with posting like tutorials and how to find this weapon and all that stuff. Yeah. So it was a fun time. I really miss it. I do, truly.
It's just that feeling.
Yeah, that feeling. Obviously, I can go back and boot it up and play it, but yeah, just one of those really awesome gaming experiences that we got to share as a whole.
Yeah, when I was at a bachelor trip a few weeks ago, I was talking to my buddy Caleb, and he's he's been playing through it, and I think he's almost finished with it. But
Okay.
it's like one of his favorite games ever now, and I don't think he ever like really played like a Souls game or like a From game before.
Yeah.
He was telling me how, oh my gosh, what's the first boss? Not Godric, but
The Sentinel, Tree Sentinel.
no, the one in the the one in the castle.
Oh,
Like-
Margit.
Yeah, Margit.
Margit. Yeah.
He was telling me how like he went straight to Margit
Yeah.
and got slapped around, and then he spent the next
Yeah.
15 hours
Yeah.
leveling up, and then he came back and just absolutely just slapped around Margit. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, dude, that's like the way to do it. If you want to do it that way, freaking great, man. I mean, that's got to feel really good to come back.
Yeah, that's how they tell you. They tell you to follow the grace points, and you can get to Margit in 5 minutes.
2 minutes. 2 to
Yeah,
5 minutes.
whatever. And just get absolutely pummeled. And also on a side note, one of my favorite like New Game Plus, because you can just absolutely destroy those bosses in like your second and third run or whatever. And that's always fun to be able to beat that.
Except for the last boss. That one.
Yeah, that was one of the worst
Still gives
bosses.
me trouble.
Yeah, one of the worst bosses in video games. I'll stand by that. The first half not so bad. The second half, that stupid lightning dragon thing, whatever, was just god awful. So
The arena was just too big.
it was, yeah,
It would have been a fine boss if the arena was like half the size.
or just the same size like the other boss fight was, or maybe slightly bigger. Yeah, that was generally that was like the only time I really had a bad time with that game. Was that boss fight, but yeah.
Oh man.
It was a good time to be alive, Nick.